was really focused a lot on kind of trying to like free up and release some of the tension up in like neck and shoulder and like occipital ridge region. It's one of those areas that for me personally, all of my tension, all of my stress tends to accumulate right up in this area. It's actually the reason that I first started practicing yoga in the very first place years and years ago, was for all of like this sort of dysfunction and stuff that was happening up here. That was really just a result of accumulative like stress and tension and anxiety, alongside poor ergonomics, like being at a computer all the time and holding phones on my shoulder and things like that, you know, that just sort of like snowballed into this state of being that was horribly uncomfortable all the time. That sort of translated into like every other layer of my being, you know, into feelings of, you know, just kind of like fatigue and malaise and, you know, these sorts of states of being that for me were not vibrant at all, and were locking me out of really living my life as fully as I could, and out of being really fully present with those that I loved too. So the idea is today that we can like kind of work physical layer, and hopefully through working that kind of get into like that energetic layer, that emotional layer as well, to kind of just set free and get moving and mobilized anything that might feel stuck for you. And so that said, we'll start in a seat, and you can sit, you know, like crisscross applesauce. You can sit on your shins, you can sit on block or blocks or a blanket, whatever feels more comfortable today. And comfort really is the primary thing here. You want to be sitting with relative ease. And so just kind of let your hands land and close your eyes. And right away you might bring some attention to your shoulders and let them drop down towards the ground. And let the whole weight of your body do just that. Give into gravity a little bit. And take a breath in through your nose. Welcome to open your mouth, sigh it out. And if it feels right, you're welcome to do that again 1 or 2 more times, just on your own. And let your attention relax into your breath, just your natural breath as it is and as you are. And just being curious about the journey that your breath takes. Perhaps collect your awareness at the tip of your nose for just a little while and notice your breath as it comes in and out. If there is a particular texture there, temperature, velocity, scent even. Just kind of journey with your breath like a river down the back of your throat. Linger there a little while. Notice its quality, its movement and texture there. Maybe there's a sound that starts to begin in that space and from it. Just keep riding with your breath down into the space of your chest, down to your collarbones, heart space. Notice how your breath swirls and moves around within this space. A feel of expansion and stretch every inhale. A feel of softening, a release every exhale. Especially in this space, right around your shoulders, front and back of your chest. Linger with your breath a little while. And finally, keep traveling with your breath down the central channel of your body, down into your belly, lowest part of your ribs. feeling that expansion within this space as well. Each inhale, each exhale. It balances out every single exhale. The feel of ease and space. Right here at the very center of your body, your low belly, start to hug in just a little bit. So you're wanting to connect to Uddiyana Bandha, your core, just to kind of help support your breath and everything else along with it. And as you draw in at Uddiyana, let your breath continue to expand now a little more purposefully in and out through your nose, Ujjayi. Your awareness right up to that space at the center of your throat. And not a constriction, not a holding, but just an attentiveness to this space as well. Jalandhara Bandha. And so that really, like between throat and low belly, this is where your breath is like kind of contained and able to continue expanding, continue building, and has support on each side. Few deep breaths just like that. Here with your Ujjayi, breathing in 360 degrees. Breath. Take one more full inhale, like that full capacity breath in. And this time open your mouth, let it relax out of you. And let your hands find connection over your heart. And beginning this practice with that sound of infinite beginnings, 1 So allow your hands to simply relax back down into your lap or on your knees. You can keep your eyes open or closed. And as you breathe in, simply roll your shoulders upward towards your ears. And as you exhale, let them soften down your back. As you inhale, let your shoulders rise and roll up. And as you exhale, let them soften back and down. And then just keep going on your own. Take a few of your own breaths, sort of setting the pace here. Let it be, this movement, just fluid as your breath, as fluid as your breath. Not trying to move into any kind of forceful territory here. If it feels natural, you're welcome to explore reversing the direction of the rolls, or maybe doing like one shoulder at a time. Starting to engage in a relationship building, body and breath and mind. You'll see my demoers are already kind of rolling their necks around, and that's absolutely where we're headed. So once your shoulders feel kind of fairly mobilized and you're starting to feel that warmth, that circulation flooding into that region, then absolutely you can take a breath in, and as you exhale, let your right ear drop down towards your right shoulder. And it's really important here that you'll want to notice if your right shoulder is lifted up towards your ear, keep letting gravity kind of work with your body. And as you inhale, lift your head up through center, and as you exhale, let your left ear descend down towards your left shoulder. A few breaths, trying to relax through your face, through your jaw. And then on inhale, up through center. On exhale, over to right shoulder. And we'll pause here. And keeping shoulders heavy, take a breath in. And this time as you exhale, you're gonna let your head kind of roll down through center. Your chin will pass towards your chest so that your left ear can find its way to your left shoulder. Left shoulder, you'll take an inhale, And then as you exhale, let your head just kind of roll a little semicircle back over to your right shoulder, taking an inhale at your shoulder. And as you exhale, easy roll, semicircle over to the left. Take a few neck rolls, just like this. And when you get to that inhale on your shoulder, you might just tip the side of your face upward, just a little bit to start stretching into the front of your neck. And here, really core supported, body and breath. Good, guys, just a couple more. In Jalandhara Bandha, we talked about, right, like as you move your neck and as you're moving your breath, like supported there, right, active. Really nice. We'll do one each way. And then back through center. As you inhale, just an easy lift of your chin. Just kind of stretch the front of your neck. It might feel nice to kind of lean a little left to right. And as you exhale, just back to neutral. With next inhale, sweep your arms up and over your head and stretch up the length of your sides. On your exhale, you'll take your right hand down out to the right side of your body and take a little lean. And here, play with it. If you're always, like taking your gaze upward, maybe today you play with taking your gaze downward or vice versa. Just to invite an opposite, right? Opposites bringing balance. And when you're ready, come back up through center, change sides, taking your lean the other way. You can always play with, like how far your hand walks away from your body. Some of you might even like bringing a forearm down or elbow down. And you just kind of start flowing in as you exhale, changing sides, moving through center. And then on that inhale, taking full extension, like hip to fingertips. And each exhale, traveling up through center. You'll notice Mickey over here is adding a little sweep down towards the ground. You can totally do that. Like these lateral stretches. You can kind of color outside the lines. Just take a few easy flows. Notice Lauren's got really good mula, root lock, and that's really vital here, right? Like your support, you want to be pressing your hips into the ground, hugging them in so that as you move, right, body and breath each have support to do just that. Great, guys, one more each way. On your next inhale, sweep both arms up and overhead. Just kind of lengthen up, and if it feels okay, you can look up and kind of stretch back a little. And you'll come into a all fours tabletop. And in tabletop, like hands under shoulders, knees underneath your hips. You can always play with going wider with your knees too. Like look for that place at your base that does feel supported. And you're gonna start taking some cat-cows. As you inhale, let your belly drop and your chest lift. And as you exhale, round the back of your spine and drop your head. And just kind of take a few on your own. Just moving cat-cows, moving spine, moving breath, in kind together. And your focus, your drishti, like you're just wanting to be intentional wherever you place it, whether it is on like something you're looking at with your eyes or something you're hearing with your ears, maybe something you're feeling, but just purposeful attention here. Really good. Yeah, and so start to really observe where your movements are emanating from. I know for me, I have this tendency to move from like head, from crown, from chin, from jaw, these places that tend to contribute to that tension and strain. Yeah, so zoom into that connection at your center we talked about, Uddiyana at your core, and see if you can start articulating your spine from that middle place. Your neck and your head's just naturally gonna move. Really cool, guys, good. A couple more like that. You'll notice Mickey's rocking back a little and forward. You can do that to find that sweet spot stretch in your spine. Good, just a couple more. Noticing that relationship, where you move from. Good, and then we'll make our way back into a neutral spine. And at neutral, with your hands rooted, start to turn your chest to the right. Let your right hand naturally lift. Good. Yes, yes, yes. And eventually, right arm unfurls upward. That was lovely, guys. And now, same thing here. As you exhale, start to turn your chest down towards the ground, to the left. Let your right arm eventually thread through to a hover. Yeah. And now, as you inhale, turn your chest to the right. Let your right arm unfurl naturally up. And as you exhale, turn chest and belly down to the left, and you thread through to the hover. So good. 3 more on your own. And such beautiful presence and attention to detail here. These little details matter. Where am I moving from? And how is that contributing to my state of being? Good. 1 more. And let the spin naturally lead you into your threaded needle. Just a couple breaths, right shoulder, right ear and cheek rest on the ground. You can also put a block underneath your right cheek if that feels more friendly today. And I love these 2 variations they're showing. Make you rock your hips all the way back towards your heels, more like a child's pose. And that can be very gentle on the shoulder and on the neck if you're finding that it's feeling a little sore today. Lauren's got her hips over her knees, just a little bit more incline, heart lower than hips. And a couple of breaths here into the sides of your body, channel from core. Feel good. And then when you're ready, go ahead and unwind left hand roots. Let your chest spin open, right arm high, and take your right foot to the back of your mat, modified side plank. So you're going all the way open. Right arm stays lifted. Yeah, so good. You can adjust your foot like they did, like a kickstand. Your left toes could tuck or be untucked. Go to what feels more steady. And then here, take your top arm over your head and consider dropping your head again, right? So invite that opposite, that balance. Play here with adding some circles. And so kind of bend your right elbow a little bit, soften, and sweep your arm around a few times. You're looking to continue cultivating this relationship. Body, breath, and mind. And zooming into that space around your right shoulder, your right chest. Notice that there's a difference if you block out your right arm versus if you bend your right elbow, just in your ability to move freely, or the way that the movements feel. Reverse the direction of your circles if you haven't done yet, just to play in the opposite and the balance. You feel it more than just in your shoulder. Maybe it's all the way down your right side. Maybe it's all the way down your right leg. Yeah, 1 more time. Big stretch, arm up and over your head. There could be a little back bend here. Yeah, heart to the high. Lovely, guys. And then all 4s. Tabletop, where we eat. If you need a couple cat-cows in between, feel free to take them, moving from the center of your spine, each direction. And then from your neutral spine, we'll take the other side. So with your hands firmly planted and your core engaged. As you breathe in, start to turn your chest to the left. Let your left hand peel upward. And on the exhale, turn chest down to the right and thread through left arm to a hover. As you inhale, move from the middle of your spine, rolling out, rolling up. And as you exhale, right from the middle of your spine, right down to the hover. Good. Take a few more on your own. We talk a lot about this relationship, like core, like moving from center, moving from core. It's sort of also the practice of developing trust, internal trust, of that support that you carry. Not needing to let the movements and all of the doing stem from that space between your ears, right? Because it comes from a deeper place, a stronger place. And so you'll thread through to your hover just for a moment and then rest in your needle. Whether your hips are stacked over your knees or you let them loll back towards your heels, either way. And just balanced in each and every breath you take, your ujjayi steady and free. Balanced in breath, balanced in body, not over-efforting, not under-efforting, but just finding the middle, that sweet spot. We'll take one more here. And then let your right hand come back under your shoulder. Spin from the middle of your body open, left arm high, and take your left leg onto the back of your mat. Modified side plank, yeah. And firmly rooted with your left foot, take your top arm over your head. Feel welcome to drop your head. Kind of stretch through the back of your neck, the sides of your neck. Yeah, add the circles when you feel ready. Just moving your shoulder, moving your arm. Keep adjusting the base of your body, right toes tugged. If you find that you're feeling wobbly or unsteady, maybe left foot more deeply planted. Good, moody on and connected the whole time through. Reverse the direction when you're ready. Play with bending your elbow a little bit more versus straightening your arm, like actively. And just maybe noticing the difference. Your ability to move freely. Taking in that full stretch, a little back bend if you like. You could look up, you could look towards your reach. All fours, tabletop, just to even it up. Just a couple cat-cows if that feels natural. Good, and when you feel kind of evened out, you'll make your way into downward facing dog. And in your down dog, right away, drop your head. Tuck your chin, maybe shake your head, yes, no, up, down, side to side. And then adjust your hands and your feet so that you feel like you've got that support at your base to drop your head even heavier. Like that little final inch, that little final millimeter of hanging loose. Feel free to pedal things out, wiggle them out. And here too, like really supported. Hands and feet and core. Yeah. And then as you inhale, just lift your heels up high. And as you exhale, draw heels to the earth. You might lift your toes. Do this a couple times on your own. Just inhaling as you lift up high to your toes, and exhaling as you stretch into your heels. And as you do this, notice, right, like especially around your face or your jaw. Sometimes for me on my inhales, I notice a little bit more tension builds or breathes or comes into play. And so you're starting to develop a keen awareness of any habitual patterns and being very gentle with yourself about where you can invite that balanced state. And so on your next inhale, let the lift of your heels carry you into a plank. And if plank for whatever reason today is not feeling friendly at all, you can put a knee or two down on the ground. You can also be more like a tabletop position. But pull up from the floor. Yeah, and let's have you put your knees down just to show the difference. Good. Yeah, and then lift your chest and get long through your neck. Good, take a breath. And then as you exhale, downward dog. Lift your hips up. It can also be a child's pose. As you inhale, curl forward into your plank or table. Nice, good. And then down dog is your exhale, pressing up and back. Just take 3 more. Like a surfer on a wave, your breath carrying you one direction and the other. And your elbows stay soft. Good. Let's meet in our plank or table, rocking forward. Chest lifted. Take a breath. And as you exhale, lower all the way to the ground. You can do this with knees down on the ground or with knees lifted. Just pick a cheek and rest. Let your arms just relax. It's an awesome stretch for your neck if you invite it. Just letting gravity do its thing. Opposite cheek rest. Really good. And so we're going to play here moving toward locust. So you'll pick your hands to start just for a little support like you're coming into a cobra. Your hands back by your shoulders, by your lower set of ribs, elbows bent. And then go ahead and take your hands, I don't know, maybe about like 5-6 inches away from your body. Go a little bit wider. It could be off your mat, it could be to the sides of your mat. Yeah, high on your fingertips. Good, guys. And now pull your belly up from the floor and let your shoulders soften back, almost like your elbows are pointing to your heels. Great. And then using your core, start to lift your chest up from the floor. Yeah, and eventually your head rises. That's awesome. Take a couple of breaths in the lift. And then as you exhale, lower. You might try walking your hands a little further forward. Try that, guys, just to see. So there's a little less strain. Yeah. And then try to lift. Beautiful. Yes. Look at how high Lauren came up. And as you exhale, lower down, let it go. So take a few cobra rolls this way. If it feels nice on your neck as you curl up, you can take a peek over your right shoulder on an inhale. And then you'll be the other side next time. Real good. This next one, let's take the fingers away and see if we can lift into a locust pose. And so just pick your fingertips up and you can take a bind here, hands clasped behind your back. You can also just hover your hands or reach them back along your sides. Good. Drop up and up and up, away from the floor. Good, guys. Yeah, crown forward, toes back. It's one more inhale to lift. And as you exhale, lower back down. Here again, choose the bind with your hands or your arms back along your sides. If you want more, you can reach your arms forward. We'll take another locust pose. From your core, let your head be the last thing that rises up. Yeah, that was awesome, Nikki. Yeah, so she lifted and then she started to take her gaze forward. Yeah, lengthen the neck, space for the breath. Good, one more here. Lower down, let it go. And let's just see what happens. Try reaching your arms forward. Just try it out. And you don't have to have it be narrow. Like it could be a little wider than your shoulders, more like a Y than an I. And when you're ready, pull up your belly, connect it to your core. Yup, rise up, locust variation. Beautiful. Let the reach come from the sides of your body rather than your shoulders. Keep them easy. Add breath fluid. Take one more. Then lower down, let it go. Press to a child's pose. Drop hips to heels. Drop your head. Maybe rock your head a little side to side. Free up your neck. Free up your jaw. Great, and then take your hands a little wider than your shoulders on your mat. They could be spider tipped, they could be firmly plugged in, palms to floor. And as you breathe in, you're gonna rock forward into an all fours or swan pose. And as you exhale, back into child's pose. On your inhale, tabletop or swan. Swan, you can lift your toes, lift your chest. And as you exhale, rock back. If this is feeling uncomfortable on your shoulders, take your hands even wider, right? They don't, like shoulder distance doesn't always mean like right in line with shoulders. It could be a little wider, more like thumbs in line with shoulders. Yeah, easy elbows. Good, guys, couple more. Yeah, last three. Let's just see. Try taking your hands a little bit wider. Let's just see. Down. Yeah, it's not supportive. All right, downward facing dog is where we're gonna be. Shake it out, wiggle it out, sigh it out if it serves. And just inviting a little bit of flow. So as you breathe in, come into plank or tabletop. And as you exhale, lower your body all the way down to the ground. Knees up or down. And you can take the spider tip cobra or you can take locust. You might even reach your arms forward. Kind of free up your shoulders so the lift comes from your core. And back into a child's pose as you exhale. Round your spine, drop your head. On an inhale, tabletop or swan. You decide. And then downward facing dog with your exhale. Press back. And just keep flowing like a wave. As you breathe in, come into plank or table. And as you breathe out, lower mindfully to the ground. And cobra or locust as you inhale. Good. Child's pose as you exhale. So we'll pull to Uddiyana, gets you there. And as you inhale, forward into table or swan. And as you exhale to downward facing dog. And take a few more on your own. It's yours to create. If you want to shift it, change it, evolve it, absolutely be my guest. But what we're playing with today is like, is there a way to move more from the center place, right? From like core, from vinyasa, from central channel, rather than needing to rely so much on like the pieces that are further away from there, right? Like shoulders, and hands and wrists. And I'm not here to like invite a particular answer to that either. It's more just the question has been posed, and now it's up to you to play with, to explore, to see just kind of where things are at for you today. Knowing that today is going to be different from yesterday, from tomorrow. Yeah, about 3 more. And just so very valuable to like, just keep trying it all on, see what works, see what doesn't work. Knowing that, you know, like every time you check in, you might get a different answer than before. This is how our practice goes from being this static thing to a truly living, dynamic practice. It can evolve with us throughout a lifetime. Yeah, let's do one more. That sounded real good. One on our fingertips. You just keep playing with, you know, like different approaches, right? Moment to moment, every opportunity you get until you find that sweet spot. Downward dog is where we meet. From your downward facing dog, go ahead and walk your feet to your hands. Take a ragdoll pose, keeping your head heavy. Dangle for a few breaths over your legs. You can catch your elbows. You can just let your hands kind of sweep along the floor. You might sway. Grab your feet, your shins, your ankles. And notice your shoulders, draw them towards your hips rather than towards the floor or your ears. And release any binds that you have and take a halfway lift, bringing your hands to your shins or to blocks as you breathe in. Good, and as you exhale, fold over your legs. And try that again, articulate it from your belly. As you inhale like a wave, curl your spine forward, yeah. And then as you exhale from belly, fold right down the middle. Yeah, one more just like that. So your head's gonna still be the last thing that lifts. Real good. And then in the rise, same idea. Press through your feet. On your inhale, start to curl up. Let your head be the last thing that lifts. All the way up. Yep, sweep your arms up and over your head. Stretch up and then lift your eyes. And then do the same thing on the fold. As you exhale, kind of hinge from your hips, pour forward over your legs. Bend your knees, drop in. Good, take a halfway lift on your inhale. Your head's the last thing that lifts. And as you exhale, fold over your legs, soften your knees. Play with it a few times. So like a wave, as you inhale, curl up, rounding through your spine. Eventually arms sweep out and up and over. Then as you exhale into the fold, let your spine drape down over your legs, good and easy. On your inhale, sweep your heart forward, lengthen, and fold. And Lauren's taking the halfway lift out, and you can do that too. If you feel really supported in your foundation, in your core, you might just be like a wave washing up and washing down. Take a few more on your own, Hasana variation. Yeah, those are lovely, guys. Let's do 2 more. So you're kind of giving your spine this rinse, top to bottom. So nice. Last one each way. We'll meet in the rise, extended mountain. Roll yourself up. Stretch your arms up and over. And bring your hands to unite together over your heart. And taking a few breaths in your mountain pose. It could be hands at heart, it could be arms at sides. And your feet together or hips with distance. And as you breathe in, sweep your arms out and up and over your head. And you'll interlace your fingers. And you can do like fingers like palms together, fingers up. You can also press your palms up. It's going to be very different on your shoulders one way or the other. Go with what feels better now. Take an inhale up the sides of your body and then crescent moon to the right. So a little lean to the right. There's that lateral side stretch. Yeah, like you can look down towards the ground, especially if you're always looking up. If it feels okay, you can turn the side of your face skyward without losing your breath. As you inhale, come up through center, then tip the other way, crescent moon. Yeah, like deep pull, belly in, Uddiyana. Good. Yeah, as you inhale, lift through center. And on the exhale, sweep your arms out wide, clasp your hands together behind your back. And you can do this if you're working at home without a strap. You can do thumbs to your sacrum, just pull your elbows back, kind of like that cobra prep we did. You can start to straighten your arms if you like. On your inhale, lift up your chest, let your hips float forward. Keep the bind and bow over your legs. Bend your knees a lot so that your spine can lengthen. Tuck your chin, take a few breaths. If this is feeling wobbly, yeah, you can take your feet wider. Maybe even be more like hips with distance, good. That's gonna really let you drop your head. Yeah, good. Couple more breaths here. Seeing if you can get a little cozier chest to thighs. Deep Ujjayi. On your next inhale, come into a chair pose. So release the bind, bend your knees, and sweep your arms forward or up. And you can do this with feet hips with distance. You can do this with feet together. But see if here, like in your chair pose, you have almost like that cat-cow action in your spine. Play with it a few breaths. Like see if, as you inhale, your chest can lift. As you exhale, your spine can round. Right, like playing with that mobility in your spine, rather than moving from your neck or from your head, right? We're looking to move from this central place. Good, guys. Couple more. Keep your hips low. That's it. Yeah, absolutely. Right from here, right from here. Hug your hips. Yes, yes. Round. Good. 2 more. Good. Find your center, right? Natural spine, extended, hands at heart or arms forward and up. Good. Take an inhale, then bow over your legs, drop your head, let it go. Take a halfway lift as you inhale, rolling your spine forward. You'll step your left foot back into a low lunge, back knee down. In your low lunge, your back toes could be tucked if that feels more balanced. You're welcome to bring your hands to your front knee. Eventually sweep them out and up to the ceiling. And pay extra attention here in your lunge to your foundation. So if we don't feel very steady on our foundation, it is going to travel up the chain. That's just how it goes. It's all connected. And so an instability somewhere is going to show up elsewhere. So check your base. It might need to be a little bit wider left to right. It might need to be longer or shorter. You might need to tuck your back toes like Mickey's doing over here. But kind of hug in, right? Like create that connection and start to lift from it. Pick up your ribs, yes, away from your hips. Lift up your heart towards the sky. Yeah, you see how much space that gave them? Now they're like up and into these beautiful back bends. Take a few more breaths, still supported. Yeah, Jalandhara, supported. Take one more inhale. Half split as your exhale, straighten your front leg and bow over your extended leg. Bring blocks with you underneath your hands if you'd like a little added support there. You can travel your arms forward. Let your shoulders melt away from your spine. Let your head be heavy. And here too, see if you can play a little bit with those cat-cows. As you inhale, let your heart roll forward. And as you exhale, let your heart roll down towards the floor. Take a few, you could be on blocks, you could be on fingers. Just checking in this mobility in our spine and where our movement really stems from. Good, guys, one more. Really hugging your hips. So the more you connect to mula, right, the more you support your spine is gonna have to move and flow. Yeah, your next inhale, rock back forward into low lunge, arms down, and you can sweep them up. Let the sides of your body lift, let your heart lift, your eyes lift. Into downward facing dog. Plant your hands, step back. And let your head drop, give it a few shakes if it serves. And you'll take that flow. So as you inhale, roll forward into plank or tabletop. And as you exhale, knees up or down, lower to the ground. Right, so you're still hugging in, you're still supported. And as you inhale, locust pose perhaps, like free up your shoulders, free up your arms, rise. Good, child's pose. As you exhale, round your spine, drop your head. And as you inhale, you choose. It could be up dog, it could be table, it could be swan. Downward facing dog. As you exhale, press it back. That's where we meet. And then just reset in your downward dog, drishti clear. You're putting your attention any given moment. On your in-breath, take your right leg towards the ceiling. And stack right hip over left, bend at your knee. Take a few breaths. Here too, you might invite some movement, some hip circles, ankle circles, knee circles. More shaking of your head. Drawing your shoulders away from your wrists, your hips away from your shoulders. Lean in every direction. Good, guys. Take one more inhale into the open. And as you exhale, bring your knee towards your chest. Cheetah pose. Round your spine like a Halloween cat. Spine up, tuck your chin. Good. As you inhale, kick back, open if you like. Roll open your hip. And as you exhale, back to cheetah. Hug in, tuck your chin. Good. One more time. As you inhale, lift up. And as you exhale, curl in. Runner's lunge. Right foot between your hands. Back knee up or down. And here too, blocks under your hands if you like. Just like you did in those thread the needles, go ahead and turn your chest to the right. Let your right arm eventually rise up. Yeah, into a lunge twist. Back knee up or down. Yeah, and I love that Mickey's got her hand on her hip here. And this is what we're talking about. We're like presencing this notion that you don't really need to like reach up to open up. Yeah, take a few breaths, moving from the middle of your body. Yeah, Lauren's added a little flow to really play with this relationship. Where am I moving from? Where could I move from? To get a little freer. Good, 2 more door breaths. Yeah, really supported here, floor and core. So you can be free, your breath can be free. But take one more. And then as you exhale, bring your right hand down, look forward and step forward. Bow over your legs. Take a halfway lift as you breathe in. Head the last thing that lifts. And as you exhale, melt over your legs, drop in. Take that roll as you inhale. Head the last thing that lifts. All the way up to stand, reach out and up. And as you exhale, hand to hand over heart or arms at your sides, mountain. On an in-breath, reach up again. Clasp your hands together, palms together or palms press up. And you'll lean to the right, crescent moon. Really grounding in your feet. As you inhale, lift through center. And as you exhale, take it the other way. Good. With a breath in, up through center. There might be a little back bend here without any strain. Then take your hands wide, clasp your palms behind your back. Put the opposite hand on top. Bring a little balance. As you breathe in, your fist can draw the floor, your heart could lift up. And as you exhale, fold over your legs with soft knees. Heavy head. Tuck your chin. Good. Into chair pose. So as you inhale, feet together or hips width. Now sit low. Sweep your arms forward or your arms upward. Take a few breaths. Right, look for that balanced place in your spine. Not overarch or underarch, but just right. Yeah, as you inhale, lift a little longer. And as you exhale, bow over your legs, head your head. Take a halfway lift as you breathe in. And you'll step your right foot back into a low lunge, back knee down. Hands to front thigh, blocks, or up and over your head, Anjaneyasana. And here too, just kind of play with your base. Always check in there. right? And sometimes I don't even know that, and then I just start noticing my breath got really shallow or tight. And that lets me know that somewhere, probably down the line, requires my attention. Am I feeling supported enough? And so from a place of support, just see what's available. You can take a back bend. You can start to lift your left heel, kick your eyes up. Good, one more breath into your Hanuman as you're ready, half split. On the out breath, straighten your front leg, bow over it. You can travel your arms forward if you'd like. Take a few of those cat-cow movements as you inhale, letting your heart roll forward. And as you exhale, letting your heart kind of melt down toward the ground. You can be on fingertips with this, be really light. And just here noticing, is it my eyes that are moving me forward? Is it my head? Is it my hips? Is it my belly? And not as a right or wrong, just something to take note of. Maybe the side's different. Cool. On your next inhale, forward into your lunge. Let your arms sweep up if you like. Keep your gaze up. Yeah, from rooted feet, strong foundation, opportunity to lift from it, to expand from it, to downward facing dog as you're ready. And down dog can always be child's pose or table. You'll take that vinyasa. So as you breathe in, rolling forward into plank or all fours. And as you exhale, lower your body down to the ground. On an in-breath, locust pose. Could be arms back, could be arms forward. Yes, good. Child's pose as you exhale. Stay light. And you choose up dog, swan, table is your inhale. Downward facing dog, your exhale, press it back. Shake your head, do what you gotta do to get free. And left leg high on your inhale, bend your knee, stack your hip. Free movement. Free movement. Okay, so ankle circles or knee circles, more shaking of your head. Just more exploration. It's my tongue pressing way up into my soft palate. Kind of relax even there. Places I can't see. To make the biggest difference. One more breath in. The knee to your chest, Cheetah Pose. Round in. You can do this with your right knee down. As you inhale, kick up, open if you like. And as you exhale, hug it in. Round to your Cheetah. Spine high. One more time. Inhale as you kick up, let your chest press back. And on the exhale, curl it in. You can kiss your knee, Cheetah Pose. Runner's lunge, plant your foot between your hands, back knee up or down. And then moving from your spine into your lunge twist. Turn your chest to the left, eventually reach your left arm up. Yeah, take a few breaths here. You can add a little flow, kind of like you did in those thread the needles. Right, because this is the thing, this is the thing. When we're rewiring, when we're creating new pathways of connection, it requires, kind of like consistency in our effort and in our attention. It requires doing it more than once. Good, you'll take one more breath in your twist, really opening, yes, really expanding. And then as you're ready, top of your mat, bring your left hand down, step forward and fold. Head to your head, soften through your knees. Take a halfway lift on your inhale, roll your spine forward. And as you exhale, bow over your legs. And then rise up to stand. Curl up, sweep up, breathe your breath in. And bring your hands to reunite together over your heart, Anjali. And so we're just gonna put this together in a little bit more flow, one breath at a time. Really key into your breath, that steady, smooth rhythm. As you inhale, reach up, interlace your fingers. As you exhale, take the lean to the right, crescent moon. As you inhale, up through center, moving from center. Other way, crescent moon. In no rush. Up through center as your inhale, maybe back a little back bend. And hands will go wide behind your back, and you'll pass them. And as you breathe in, lift up to the sides of your body, let your gaze naturally follow your heart, and fold over your legs with a bind. Soften your knees, tuck your chin, drop in. Chair pose for one breath in. You'll sweep forward, sweep up, sit low, And bow forward, let it go. With an inhale, lift halfway up, lengthen again, and step your left foot back into low lunge, back knee down. On an inhale, under the asana, lift up your chest, reach your arms up, extend, half split as you exhale, fold over your right leg, drop your head. From center again, rock forward on inhale, Anjane, let your heart rise, your gaze follow. Downward facing dog as you exhale, clean step back. Right into your flow. On an inhale, plank or table. And on an exhale, lower body to earth. Locust pose, your inhale, arms back or arms forward. Child's pose with your exhale, an opportunity to drop your head. As you're ready, an inhale forward gets you to swan or table or up dog. Downward facing dog, a full out breath. Set your eyes, get clear. Right leg to the sky, breathe your breath in. And as you exhale, cheetah pose, hug it in, round your spine. Runner's lunge, plant your foot. Spin right from your chest as you inhale, open. Top of your mat as you exhale, step and fold. Take that halfway lift, heart leads the way on inhale. Then bow, drop in, get empty. Roll up and rise on an inhale, upward. Hands back to your heart as you exhale, other side. On your in-breath, reach up and clasp your palms together. As you exhale, little lean, crescent. As you inhale, up through center, supported to the left. As you exhale, little lean. Rise to center, maybe back a little on your inhale without any strain. And then fold over your legs, bow in. I forgot the bind, it's okay. You'll be okay. Lift halfway up as you inhale. Good, fold as you exhale. Let's take it into chair pose. A deep breath in, rise up. Good, let's throw the bind in right here. Clasp your hands together behind your back in your chair. Take an inhale, heart up, and then fold forward as you exhale. Yeah, get that juicy shoulder stretch. Great, now you're halfway lift as you inhale. Step the opposite leg, right foot back, low lunge. As you breathe in, Anjane, lift your heart up, lift your arms up, extend through your sides. Half split with an exhale, bow, nose to shin, tuck your chin. Rock forward and rise, Anjane, and inhale as you sweep up, lifting from your middle. Downward facing dog, full clean step back. Take your flow, vinyasa, plank or table, on an inhale, knees up or down. Lower mindfully to the ground. Locust pose with your inhale, extend. Lovely, child's pose as you breathe out. Fully jump in. You choose how you rise, rocking forward as you inhale, swan, table up dog. Downward facing dog, press it back. Right up with your left leg as you inhale, take it high. As you exhale, knee to chest, cheetah pose. One time through to runner's lunge, plant your foot. Light as you spin left to your twist, taking an inhale. Top of your mat, step and bow in. Good, halfway lift, you inhale, lengthen. Deep fold, empty it out. And curl up, one vertebra at a time. Like rinse your spine, rise with an inhale. And bring your hands to your heart center. You'll do one more each side on your own. And just a framework in which to play. Every breath leads the way. If you're not sure about the steps, don't worry about the steps. Like all is done in time, exactly as it's meant. Exactly as it's meant. Just give your breath, your body, your full attention. Move with intention. Stay in that open conversation. What's needed in this moment for balance, for freedom, for ease? Where can I move from? That moves me closer to that space, sattva. Depth and the simplicity. Stay in, come back in over and over again. Looking for subtle here rather than gross. Subtle connections, subtle shifts, subtle attention. Every breath, that new opportunity. See what's here. When you do complete your flow and there's no rush, right? Like let it take what it takes. Keep following your breath. Let it lead the way. Just choose a shape in which to fully arrive. It could be a shape we've done thus far. It could be something that just feels right, like you're feeling called to move into this space. It could be right side up, it could be upside down. It could be on the ground or hardly at all. But even here, stay in this inquiry. Where am I moving from? Even in this seemingly still space. Classical spot. Yeah. Okay, like still is never still. Fluid is never entirely just fluid. There's always a balance of the two. Got it. Yeah, heels towards me now. Keep kicking up. Beautiful, there you go. Yeah, 5 more of your breaths. Keep taking up. Yeah, root and rise. Once you're ready, good. Make your way. Take a few breaths, rest. And then through a vinyasa, if it feels right, you'll make your way to the top of your mat. Your own time, your own way. At the top of your mat, dangle for a breath or two, shake your head or wiggle your jaw. And rise up to stand as you're ready. Full extension in every direction. Hands reunited over your heart. Samasthiti. Together we'll take a breath in. If you like, you can open your mouth, clear out some space, clear out some heat. On your inhale, reach up. You choose the leg to stand on, Eagle Pose. And so you're kind of taking chair, right? Just wrapping up kind of upon itself. One leg over, one arm under. And just like you did in chair, look for some of that flexibility of movement, right? That mobility in your spine. Maybe a little bit round, a little bit lifted, and then you want to kind of find that full extension straight up and straight down, right up through your sides. Yeah, gaze steady. Your heart doing the lifting here rather than shoulders or fingers or chin. Take one more breath. And then release it down. Step to the floor, sweep your arms out and up, extend. And then take the other side, eagle. So whichever leg you weren't just standing on. And fully open and available for this side to be a totally brand new journey, a completely different experience. That requires little shifts, those little baby shifts in your attention, in your approach. Yeah, you can kind of think about it like almost as though you were sitting back into the wall behind you, softening a little. And kind of lift through the sides of your body. Yeah, take one more breath. And then release it. Step down, sweep out and up. Then take your eagle on the other side. And if for whatever reason today, like this full eagle cross is just not feeling available, you can always just kind of give yourself a hug, right? Like just give yourself a hug. Sort of stretch out through your rhomboids, your scapula, in the back of your heart. And when we think about heart opening, right, like it's 360 degrees, it's all around. Breathe deeply into your sides, into all those crevices. Lift a little higher through your spine. Take one more breath and change sides. Step down, you can reach out and up, kind of free up the shoulders. Final time, eagle pose. Long through the sides of your neck, still supported by your bandhas, locks that unlock. Here to set you free, not to constrict you, here to set you free. Even a shape like this that seems like it's all wrapped up, here to create space for you, maybe in unexpected places. Take one more breath, then release it down, reach out and up, take an inhale, and bring your hands to your heart. And so final thing we're going to do is we're going to take tree, and I would invite you to play today with an opposite bind. And in an opposite bind, you could do like hand to hand behind you like so. You could grab your elbows. You could also do prayer hands with your fingers facing up, shoulders pulled back. You could do that bind that we've been taking all along. All right, so lots of different ways that you can play here. But the idea is you get into the bind, and now you're going to have to trust. Because you're not going to have your hands available to put your foot where you want to put your foot, right? It's just going to have to go where it's meant to go today. And so once you have that, connect in, right? Like root into the ground, hug into your center, and let your heart do the lifting here, right? Let your heart pick you up. The sides of your body extend. Yeah, and then as your heart is shining skyward, you can start to look up, maybe. Notice if your breath got held or shallow. Remember, usually that's just your internal systems, your subtle systems way of speaking to you, right, in its own language. Hey, something requires your attention. Seek it out. There we go. From wherever you journey, free up the bind and reach up. Extend your tree nice and tall. Yeah. And then as you're ready, set it down, mountain pose, reset. Other side, so you can take the same bind that you did. You could do a different one if you prefer, but the idea is I'd like for you to play with like not needing your hands to put your foot where you want it to go. My demos are like, F that noise. Don't worry, we'll do it again, right? So get like do the thing that makes you feel comfortable first. It's fine, right? Sometimes we need that kind of establishment of like feeling safe and feeling supported. And then grow your tree from there. Start to just play with lifting your heart, lifting your eyes. Yeah. Staying connected, centered, line. Good. Couple deep breaths. And gaze steady, breath free. There we go. Good. Free up the bind, reach up. Take a big inhale. And hands to your heart, Samasthiti. Stand in equanimity. We're going to try this one more time. So shake out whatever you got to shake out, wiggle it out, take a deep breath in through your nose, open your mouth. All right, do something with your hands, right? Like take a bind behind your back. You could do behind your head, right? Yep, and then plant your foot wherever it's gonna go today. And it's probably not gonna be where you thought, and it's okay, like part of this practice, non-attachment. Right, so you just get connected, get rooted where you are, and work from where you are to expand, to extend. Upward through your sides, upward through your heart, upward with your eyes. There could be a little back bend here, and there could be a neck stretch here. Yeah, but how spacious, how extended in all directions. Like, can you create from this space of connection? Take 3 more breaths. Maybe a little longer, a little lighter. Good, reach up, free up the bind, extend all the way up. Arms high, maybe gaze follows. Nice, and then set it down. Set it free, mountain pose. Reset it. Final time, maybe this is the 4th time doing it, it's a totally different bind from the other 3 times, right? So, just kind of get your shoulders rolled back, soften, whether it's elbows or hands or prayer. And then plant your foot wherever it's gonna go right now, right? Different from before and different from tomorrow, and lift from there. Work from where you are, right? This hug, Uddiyana, this support, Mula, this connection of throat, Jalandhara. And then you breathe as big as you can in every direction so that you can rise higher from it. You might dare to look up a little. You can lift your standing heel. You might dare to lean back a little. Right? Moving from center. When you're ready for your arms up, reach up. Take a big breath in. Just stretch it out. And hands to your heart center mountain pose. You can let your arms drop if you like, Tadasana. You're at the very top of this mountain today, just standing as you are. And on your inhale, sweep out and up, stretch up. And as you exhale, melt forward over your legs, drop your head. Take your halfway lift as you breathe in and throw in anything you like. A crow, a malasana, some handstand hops, some cat-cows, right? Move yourself through. Yeah. Your vinyasa, when you're ready, just means you move on purpose with purpose. Downward dog is where we'll meet. In your downward facing dog, drop your head, give it a little shake, yes and no. Take a breath in through your nose. Stick your tongue out. And then come into a high plank, just passing through. Lower your body down onto the ground. We're going to come into Sphinx Pose. You'll slide your forearms out in front of you and lift your chest up. And one of the wonderful things you can do with Sphinx, since you are on the ground, right, pretty connected here, with your forearms parallel and your feet, tops of your feet firmly planted, you can almost imagine that you were dragging your body along the floor. So it's going to be this isometric thing as you set yourself up here and you plug the tops of your feet down, you plug your forearms down. It's this really subtle press into your forearms, kind of start to pull your elbows back towards your body and draw your chest wall forward. So it's going to kind of traction your spine, create a little bit of stretch along your deltoids and your collarbones. You can take it actively. You can take your toes up off of the floor for even more sensation. Here too, always mind your breath. Right? As you mind your breath, maybe look for those little places of cumulative tension too. Set them free. Good. A couple more breaths in your Sphinx Pose. Heart forward, sternum forward. Yep. Almost like the tops of your collarbones could face the sky. Big lift here. Good. Long in your neck. That's it. Good. Take one more breath. And then elbows wide, lower down, head to the ground. If you need to rock your ankles side to side, you can do that. Real good. So from here, we're going to take a bit of a shoulder opener. We've been doing all of this shoulder work. And so you're kind of resting on your belly here. You're going to take your arms out like a little cactus, like a little T.
And what I'd like you to look for is if your elbows are way back towards your ribs, it's not going to be friendly on your shoulders. So it's much better to have your elbows just a little forward of your shoulders, a little bit forward.
So it could be like 90 degrees, it could be more like 45. And then from here, just go ahead and bend your right knee like you do in your three-legged dogs. Start to roll your hip open like you do in your three-legged dogs. And bring your right hand under your shoulder so you can start to lean to the left, little bit at a time, little bit at a time. So rather than being aggressive in this, right, just very gentle, stay in this lovely back and forth conversation, body, breath, and mind. Your left toes could touch the floor. If you prefer, you can bend both of your knees and just stack them one over the other. You can kind of gently like make your way in and then back your way out a few breaths at a time, just looking for that sweet spot. And still supported from core, from breath, always. Good, take one more, and then roll back onto the floor, switch cheeks, come back into just that like a goalpost shape with your arms, cactus shape. And you'll make your way into the other side. So elbows just a little forward of your shoulders, or more like 45. Bend your left knee, start to roll your hip open on that left side like you would flip your dog. And with your left hand like a support, like a kickstand, just use that, right? To kind of modulate your approach moment to moment. A little in, maybe a little out. Probably this side is different. And so the shift in your approach is gonna make all of the difference in your experience of it. And knowing that you're not stuck as you remain in this conversation, maybe things do shift and more space becomes created. And soften in or move into it as you're ready. Take one more. Unroll onto the floor as you're ready. And one more locust pose. You could take the bind hands behind your back. You could reach your arms forward, but lifting from that central point of connection. Full extension, one more breath, then lower down to the ground, child's pose, cross it back, drop your hip. And from here, let's take rabbit. One of the best ways to stretch out through your shoulders, through your neck, bring your knees together, tuck your toes, and reach back, grab the bottoms of your feet. And with your chin to your chest and the top of your head on the ground, you're gonna start to pull on your feet and lift your spine like a cat. Rounding and stretching and breathing as big as you can into the back of your heart and the backs of your lungs. Good, try tucking your toes, it might make a big difference. Yes, yes, now you feel supported, lift your spine way up. Beautiful. Go ahead, take one more breath. Gently release it, let's take one camel. And so you're already there, you're on your shins, you're on your knees. Lift up your heart, lift up your hips. And as we've been practicing all the while, right, so you're moving from center, moving from root and connection. Eventually, right, as your heart lifts, your head follows. You look back, and even as you do, there's support, Jalandhara, throat lock, right? Check your breath, keep it fluid and free. Good, guys, one more. Gently unwind, curl yourself up, all fours to downward facing dog. Drop your head, give it a shake. Take your time. And in your downward facing dog, give yourself a down dog twist. And so take your feet out, kind of hips width distance, maybe wide as your mat. Bring your left hand in underneath your crown. And take your right hand back to your left ankle or shin. And just keep dropping your head as you lift your hips. After all these back bends, just a little bit of twist, a little bit of rinse for your spine. And unwind, replace right hand to the floor, left hand reaches back. Tuck your chin, drop in. The more you stretch into your feet, right, like heels to floor, the more you might find your hips get higher. Gently release it, unwind, come back to center, drop in, heavy head. Take a final breath in through your nose and open your mouth and let it go. Come all the way through to a seat. All the way through to a seat. And in your seat, bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees come open, Baddha Konasana. And you can have hands on your feet. You can kind of scoot your sit bones back, your elbows tucked into your sides. Here, like you can use this to kind of like pull your elbows back, draw your shoulders back, get a little longer in your neck. You can stay or you can start to move your chest forward. And as you do so, really mindful that there's not this like jutting of your chin forward, right? But just a long spine, long neck. If you're very low, like these guys are here, they might try putting their forearms out in front of their shins to create even more of a bind or more of a stretch. And then there can be like this rounding action in the spine, almost like that rabbit pose. Good, couple breaths. Gently release it. Lift your chest up, keep your feet together, and just scoot your feet forward more into a diamond shape, Cobbler Pose. Same thing, you can wiggle your sit bones back. Get grounded and connected. Your hands might be on shins. And then just extend your spine forward. Mindful to lengthen through the back of your neck. Your shoulders relax. If you're pretty low, you can try threading your arms underneath your knees from the inside, palms face up. Be a really nice stretch on the shoulders. Yeah, head heavy. Deep breaths. There you go, Lauren. Cool, yeah. Just a little turtle here, turtle pose. Turtle pose. Good, one more here. Gently release it out. Extricate yourself however you can. We're gonna take a supported fish pose. Supported fish pose. To kind of finish up. And so you can use block or blocks. It can go back behind your chest vertical. You can also go wide, flat side down, or the narrow side. The narrow side is going to be pretty sensational. You can use the second block underneath your head if you'd like to. If you are working without a block today, traditional fish works just as wonderfully. In traditional fish, you can have your hands underneath your hips, bring your forearms to the floor, extend your legs and lift your chest up. So it's just that final big stretch, that big opening for your shoulders, for your chest, all that space. Yeah. Take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it in. And then open your mouth, sigh it out, clear it out. Stay as long as you like. And when you feel ready, make your way onto your back, setting your blocks aside, and taking a Shavasana, your final rest. Maybe this feels perfect and you just stay right here. In Shavasana, the key being that, it is restful and restorative in nature. There isn't a need to do anything at all. Make anything happen at all. Just close your eyes, get bone heavy, hold up nothing, receive everything. Resting as you are, sip a brand new breath in, let it fill you up. Open your mouth, let it wash all the way out. And just in that same curious manner, start to invite little movements back. A rock of your head side to side, a roll of your wrists or ankles. Make your way through any stretches, whether it's a full body stretch or a hug of your knees, or your side into a seat of your choosing, kind of like you began, and yet perhaps a little or a lot shifted. And as you sit tall, just let your hands land in your lap. Let your head kind of drop to one side, just a breath or two, ear to shoulder. And then maybe over to the other shoulder, just a breath or two. And back through center, hands to your heart. And sealing this time with that sound of infinite beginnings. 1-0. From heart center to wisdom center, may all beings everywhere be happy and peaceful and free. May they walk through this life with ease. Namaste.